What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Shabazz.
Your boy Natty Bass, man.
Then we the Baptiste bros. You feel me? You feel me? You feel me? Not you got the red turtleneck?
No, it's just a t-shirt.
Oh, okay. Red t-shirt on. I got the little cross trainers, you know what I'm saying? We don't try, we train, we follow the Christ out here in these streets. But week 1 happened. Some
We
great
back.
moments.
We back.
We back. Great moments. Some moments we wish we could take back, can get back. I did horribly in my picks, ladies and gentlemen. I did. Let me see. In all the picks I did, I threw $1 on every single one, like I said, and I won 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I like 7 pick'ems and 6 bets.
Damn.
Out of 16. Terrible. We gotta step it up. But then we talking about that tomorrow. We gotta talk about that week 2 slates tomorrow. Week 1 though. First of all, how you feeling? You feeling good?
Hey man, we gonna talk about my game in a second, man. But how to bring out the belt, That's all I'm gonna say. We had to bring out the belt. That's all we're gonna talk about this later, Some teams brought out the belt and said, nah, we ain't starting slow. We week 1, we gonna hit the ground running. That's where the belt comes in, man. But I'm good. I'm healthy. Week 1's in the books. Football's back. Obviously, I'm sad that the Notre Dame Fighting Irish lost. That's a pain and a sadness because I have students who talk a lot of shit. And students like, oh, I'm an Ohio State fan. I'm an Oregon fan. I'm like, and I'm obviously big Notre Dame in this spot. And then they're like, yo, Mr. B, what happened?
Oh.
I took Friday off, right? I took Friday off because it's week 1 NFL season. So they saw it already for the first time since Thursday. They're like, Mr. B, what happened? I'm like, look. I'm like, look, little nigga. Like, shut the fuck up. All right, shut up. Pop quiz. No, matter of fact, because you want to say something, pop quiz. Boom. But life is good, man. We healthy. We move on to another week in college football. But before we can talk about the week coming up, we got to talk about the week that was. Week 1 review show, Tuesday nights, 8:30. Here we are. Enough rambling. Yo, let's get right. You ready, Shabazz? You ready, Shabazz?
I'm ready. We got to talk about a somber moment, My Ravens.
Hey, clip real quick because it's a sad day.
I am having a very bad day. I am in no mood. This today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
Man, Chiefs beat the Ravens by a literal inch, 27-20. Probably more accurately a half of an inch, but an inch sounds better. Man, talk your talk, bro. All
right, so 27-20, Ravens lose. My Ravens lose. I was glued to that TV, my boy. Mind you, 2K25 just came out. If you want to run, you know what I'm saying. Raz TV on PS5. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I'm like, yo, I'm going in with a false sense of confidence. That's like bravado in a bit. Like I'm pumping my chest out. It's week 1. Like anything can happen. Like it's get back time. Because they came to our crib and beat us. We supposed to go to their crib, make a sandwich, all that. You know what I'm saying? First drive. I'm like, all right. Besides the illegal formations, bro. 5 of them, 3 of them in the same job by Ronnie Stanley. And before we get to anything else, I want to talk about that real quick. I think that was utter BS that they made him an example, and then they were like, oh, now he was wilding a little bit. Let's not call it as much throughout the whole freaking 15 games after that. But the other, 15 games after that. I'm like, bro, y'all not that ass. And there were people who were doing it way worse and more egregious than what Ronnie Stanley was doing. And they ain't getting no warning. They ain't get none of the commentators was like, oh, he's a little offside. He's a little back there. Bro, come on now. like I'm making it so blatant, obvious. I know the NFL is rigged to a point, but come on, y'all. Refs, get it together. Y'all can't find me. I ain't a player by y'all. Y'all got to get it together. Because Jawan Taylor was still doing the same thing that he was doing last season. Because he was the point of emphasis, and he was doing the same shit week 1. They called it on him a couple times, but it's not consistent. So Ronnie Stanley will work on that. All right, now I can talk about the game. And so first job we scored a touchdown. I'm like, oh yeah, it's lit. First, we got the ball first. Came through. Derrick Henry didn't run the ball too well this game. I don't think he did a good job. I also think our run blocking, our pass blocking was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Our run blocking though definitely leaves a lot to be desired. Granted, you have a monster like Chris Jones in the middle, so it's kind of hard to like not LeBron. Derrick Henry is not really if you play Madden or NCAA, he's not really a stretch kind of guy. He likes to attack the A and B gap, not really the outside leverage. He usually goes like north to south. He doesn't really bounce out like east to west like a McCaffrey or a Saquon. So they were doing the Chiefs. Credit to them, were doing a great job putting that wall up in him. And like, yo, you're not getting. He had a couple 8 yards or like run for a couple first downs, but for the most part, he was pretty much held in check the whole night. Now, I said, oh, you should go to touchdown. So if you're a betting man, you're happy. Now, let's talk about the defense. Defense, I think, had a lapse, a rare lapse. I think numerous times, like the fact that we sacked Mahomes twice and called a pick on him, that's great, but we could have had more. Granted, Mahomes is one of the best at like, psych, you almost had me. Gotcha. And rolling out or whatever. So we had a lot of those instances. I'm like, oh, it's third and long. I'm like, get him. And then he does his Mahomes magic and does some BS and gets it to Kelsey or gets it to Rashid Rice, who also shouts at him, was spamming the same slant, freaking 3-step slant a whole game until we put Trent Simpson in, and that shit was locked down. Xavier Worthy, fast motherfucker. That's all I can say. Buffalo, fuck you for letting them get them. All right. That's 2. 3, Lamar. I don't care what the critics say. He played a great game in my eyes. I can definitely lose less of the running though. But throwing for 272, granted, a lot of it is like you actually have to score, so you got to throw the ball or push the ball downfield. Likely played well. They got to stop with the freaking catching it, backing up. And then, like, be like Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett does not get hit. He'll catch it and fall down. Maybe go for a little bit and fall down. I'd rather that than going backward. Always go forward. Bateman, I like to see him more involved, but the Chiefs had a great game plan. And then in the last drive, Lamar definitely missed Isaiah Likely off the end route. He just throws it like not a lob, but like throw it where like it's over the linebacker, so he can't bat it down, and just in stride, easy 2-tap. That's a dub right there. We have momentum, and then even if he misses a Zay and whatever Bateman happened, whatever happened. But like Zay likely caught that pass, and with the toe, I thought he was in, but replay was like, I was like, so they're gonna pull that shit back. Harbaugh was going for 2.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter, I thought if we had scored, we going for the tie. We have momentum.
It's Mahomes at home, week 1. You go for 2 90% of the time. The only time you don't go for 2 is in overtime in the playoffs. Week 1, nobody would have faulted. You have Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely as red zone threats to get 2 yards?
So you saying they should have went for it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because even if what happened, I bet Ravens plus 3.5. So I was going to win my bet regardless if Isaiah Likely 2 taps. But as the caption says, lost by an inch. His big toe was just a little too big. It was on the line.
But all in all, we played well. and I think this is the worst we're gonna get. Offensive line new, so we're getting that to gel. Defensive adjustments, communication on both offense and defense, getting big gains and having it called back by holding calls, like being disciplined on both sides of the ball. We gotta work on that. I think it's about to get ugly for the Raiders. I'm sorry. We gotta take our frustrations out on y'all, but that's tomorrow. But for today, we lost. We're 0-1, but we're not in the worst position in our division.
That's a fact.
We'll talk about that later on. We talked for too long about my Ravens. I know we lost, but it's okay.
Real quick, Justice Hill, shout out to him as a receiving back. He made a lot of key third down catches and was like consistent in the backfield in terms of receiving the ball. Lamar Jackson ran a little bit too much, but that's how like he has to, because like that's the only way he plays alive. That's Lamar Jackson trying to make him a passer when he can pass. Then the last thing, Mark Andrews.
He got double teamed the whole game.
It's great that Isaiah Likely was feasting, but like Mark Andrews is supposed to be the scapegoat. Maybe he's still not 100%. That's why they're like, yo, look for Isaiah Likely, look for dynamic playmakers. Rashad Bateman, that catch just to get to, I know we're about to move on to another game, but that catch just to get to the red zone to have an opportunity to win the game was a thing of beauty. High point in the ball, hand catch, no body, no note. Like, just I'm gonna catch it with my hands and then go down immediately like Tyler Lockett. Like, chef's kiss. Great game, great way to start NFL. And then we transition from Thursday night to Friday night. First time we had a Friday night game since Christmas, a couple years ago.
Black Friday, no?
Oh shit, 100%. That's my bad. Duh. Regardless, though, first game in Rio, or I lied, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Saquon and the Philadelphia Eagles beat. They shouldn't say cooked, because Saquon himself, he cooked. He had 3 touchdowns. He had 3 more touchdowns than the Giants had the entire game. He had 2 more touchdowns than the Panthers scored. He had, 2 more touchdowns than the freaking Bengals scored. We're going to talk about them. He had 3 more touchdowns than the Steelers scored by himself. That offense for Philadelphia is going to be a problem, a matchup nightmare. Because running the ball wise, he didn't really do much in the running game. But what makes the Eagles so dynamic is the fact that Jalen Hurts can throw the ball, and also he can run for 10 yards. He's not Lamar fast. He's not Justin Fields fast, but he's a decisive runner when he wants to be. A.J. Brown had the most quiet 100-yard game I've ever, I looked into it. I was like, dang, he had 5 catches, 117 yards. Like, damn. Like, that says underrated as hell. The defenses for both teams definitely capitalize on turnovers, but we're getting chopped up, both of them. Week 1, the defenses are usually better than the offenses. Exhibited a lot of the quarterbacks this week struggled. But, man, I was really disappointed on, Xavier McKinney, shouts to him. He got an interception. But, it was just being carved up and down. The overcashed, easy money. And obviously the big story, Jordan Love sprained his MCL. He's out for 4 weeks or 3 to 4 weeks. He's saying he might play, but it's Malik Willis, and the Packers, man, didn't think that. They probably thought, okay, we lose week 1, we might win, we might lose, whatever. They're about to go on a losing streak because they just made a call for Ryan Tannehill, and I'm like, ugh. I'd rather have Ryan Tannehill than Malik Willis, that's for sure. But, man, the Eagles, the Packers even had a chance to win. All Malik Willis had to do was try to throw a Hail Mary and didn't even get the snap. It was just a bad play. Shout out to Philly, man. The defense could have been better, but they did make key stops when they had to. And I fucking lost $100 because Jordan Love
he went 17 for 34. So he goes one more pass.
17 for 34. That's 50%. He didn't run the ball at all. He had 260 yards just straight passing, which is cool. 17 completions for 260. That's crazy. A lot of the drops, he had 50%. 2 more catches from any of his receivers, I win $100.
We win $100.
And I would have been hyped because I told Shabazz, I told Mr. Matt, I told the Genu chat, I told so many people, and everyone's like, "Yo, this is a solid ass bet."
Huh.
Yo,
I just heard natural voice.
yo,
Love you, Daddy.
love you too. But I'm like, yo, everyone's like tailed it, and I'm like 6 yards short. But good job for Philly. Saquon is finding his new home in Philly. And I think who they got next week? Oh, they got the Falcons on Monday Night Football, which based off of Falcons on their disaster of a season so far, we're gonna talk about them in a second. Sorry, I can't help but smile. I'm sorry. I'm happy for that. But good game. That was a great start out to week 1, 100%.
I agree. Both teams are struggling defensively, but shout out to Philly because when Jalen Hurts fumbled, Packers already in scoring position, they held him to 3. Jalen Hurts shows a pick. They returned a little bit, scoring position, held him to 3. Now the turf in Sao Paulo was trash. People were tripping, slipping, and all that. So that's also probably a test to why Jordan Love didn't have the yards. I think the Packers was going to lose that game. If they had scored 1 touchdown, it's 10-0, and then the pressure's on Jalen Hurts to do something. But the fact that the defense held it out, it was like, oh, then they scored. When Saquon scored his first touchdown, all right, it's 7-6. Now we got the game. So I think obviously the over cashed easily. That was like a no-brainer bet. But I have no real analysis. I'm sad for Jordan Love. If I'm him, I'm honestly taking my time coming back. You already got paid. You know you want to win, but you guys are still young. So it's like no matter what happens, like you're good. The Packers are going to be contending for a while because they're going to just grow together. So get healthy. Do not rush back. When you rush back, tendencies tend to happen, like bad things tend to happen when you rush back from an injury. I know you want to play for your team. I can't tell you what to do. My suggestion would just be hold it down, and maybe they get inspired. Like maybe they'll like we're at home against the Colts this week. Like let's show some heart and show some character, and get get Jordan Love like a little at ease. That he's not there, but he'll be there in spirit. He's gonna get right for us. Let's try to like. When let's manage the ship a little bit, not completely go a Titanic and flip over. So, shout out to the Eagles. They're top 5 for a reason in my eyes. They just got to work on the defense because it's sweet trash. Speaking of trash, Caleb. People was like, "Yo, Shabazz, what you trying against Caleb Williams, yo? Caleb Williams, yo." Literally, the epitome of Caleb Williams and my distaste for his play style was evident when it was like 3rd down and he thinking it's USC against grown men. They try to backpedal and do spin moves and kept going backwards, and then he got sacked for like a 20-yard loss. And I'm like, bruh, what are you doing, son? What are you doing? You only throw for 93 yards. Granted, the Titans' defense is very underrated. Always been underrated, for sure. Did you only throw for 93 yards?
Yeah, it was bad.
Only 93. You don't score a touchdown. Don't let the 24-17 fool y'all. Like, he did not score a touchdown. Got a very clutch 2-point conversion. But that's it. Now, are we going? Is that Titans? Will Levis is cooked. He's cooked. Like if I'm the Titans, like if I'm, I think Brian Callahan or Bill Callahan, whatever his name is, I want to suck as much as possible. Pause, and then draft a quarterback next year. But they got pride. They got veterans all over, so they're probably like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. But Will Levis got to play better. They ran the ball well. They did everything well defensively, all that, but then like crumbled under pressure. But back to Caleb. Is this a blip? Is this like a bad first? Because CJ Stroud didn't have a good first game either last year, and then he turned it on.
He played the Ravens.
He played the Ravens, and he got, I think his first pass was a catch. It was bad, and he caught it himself. So like it was that bad. But is this a blip, or is it gonna be a concern? I'm not gonna, talk my shit. I'm gonna do a little whisper. They played the Texans Sunday night. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow. So I'm excited to see it. But I want to know, Caleb, do you have that dog in you? Or what's the vibes? Like, come on. That's what I gotta say.
You said everything that needs to be said. I'm watching the game with Bears fans, and they're optimistic. They're hopeful. Oh my God, it's the first time. Week ones are usually, most teams are hopeful going into the season. That shows some type of improvement in going into the season. And what was funny is that me and Corbett didn't really talk much about the Bears until Sunday morning. And he's like, yo, this defense is going to be legit. Mm-hmm. And it was not for the first half. First half, they were getting gashed. Tony Pollard looked like a brand new man in that Titans uniform. Him, Tyjae Spears, Will Levis. In the first half, it was a tale of two halves. The Titans were like running the ball and running efficient offense, and Caleb Williams took more time than he needed to get right. He didn't look good. That's, if you say he looks good, or if any pundit in the national audience says that Caleb Williams did a good job, they don't deserve the microphone anymore. He did a bad job. He got carried into a group project with an A. And literally, defense and special teams carry the Bears. They didn't score a touchdown, an offensive touchdown this week. They scored a block punt for a touchdown. Shout out to Simone Biles' husband, Jonathan Owens. And then pick six by Jalen Johnson, Tariq Stevenson. And then a pick to seal the win. Great game, theatrical. Bears fans that I was with having heart attacks and like, bro, we suck again. And like, what the fuck is going on? Da, da, da. And then when the defense shows up and the Montez Sweat's making plays on the defensive line, they'll win games strictly because of the defense. They'll win games strictly because of the defense. Shout out to the Steelers. We're going to talk about them next. Strictly because of the Steelers, they're going to keep them in games. You got to, real quick, before I know we're going to move on to the next game. You have to understand how hard it is to be a rookie. Like Cam Newton probably had the best week one game of all time, and he still lost. Right?
He threw a pick to end the game to Patrick Peterson.
Right. So it's like he had like 400 passing for his first 2 weeks, like 400 passing yards each, a couple touchdowns, and put this team in positions to win. But he still lost, right? Both of those games. It's like, bro, like how much can you do? Justin Herbert arguably had like the best statistical season, but they didn't win a lot. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to get the game fast. Caleb Williams has to get rid of those USC. I'm the best player on the field. I'm gonna make defenders look silly. He lost like 25 yards on that play because he thinks he's the best player on the field. And no, you're no longer the fastest, the strongest, the best player on the field. You are now, and arguably, probably, and when you step on the field, there's probably like 6-7 guys better than you, faster than you, stronger than you. How are you going to be able to adjust? He did make some key throws, and these receivers just dropped it. Keenan Allen dropped a touchdown. I was like, oh, Keenan Allen, what's going on? DJ Moore tried to make plays. He got hurt a little bit. Roma Dunze sprained his MCL. So it's like stay healthy, stay consistent, and get better every week. You want to get in with a win, and you go to Chicago week one, you get a win, cool. Doesn't have to be pretty, just to win and survive. And shout out to them for winning for my Survivor League. A team that I told you was going to lose, partly because I'm a biased hater, but also because it's Mike Tomlin, and what travels is Steelers defense. TJ Watt had the best non-quarterback game of week one.
Okay, I'm about to say, like, whoa. That
was hyperbolic. But of week one, he had a couple of strip sacks that should have one bullshit offsides call, which was not. He timed the snap perfectly. and destroyed Kirk Cousins. Destroyed him. 10 points for that high-flying offense. They got Drake London. They got Bijan. Kyle Pitts finally scored a touchdown. Give him credit for that.
Yeah, man.
The defense, I'll give this to the Falcons. The defense held it down and only let Chris Boswell kick 6 fucking field goals. No touchdowns were scored by Pittsburgh. Just 6 field goals. Justin Fields made enough plays happen. He didn't turn the ball over, which that's what killed him in Chicago. Kept turning the ball over, trying to be a hero. George Pickens is the only receiving weapon on the Steelers, and he showed up and showed out. They have a good running game with Justin Fields. I told Shabazz as soon as I heard that Justin Fields was going to start,
Shout out to that.
I was like, take the Falcons out of your survivor pool. He's like, why? I'm like, it's something about running the ball, playing keep away, and Steelers defense in week 1. And what happened? Boom. And now a lot of people pick the Bengals. We're going to talk about them in a couple games as well. Again, when you have a team that have a defense that can travel anywhere, defense always in the early part of the season always reigns supreme.
True.
A lot of, if you go back in time a couple years ago, right? Like we did a little talk about CJ Stroud last year had a bad week 1. Bad. Why? Because again, you're understanding, it's not like college anymore. And even pros, Aaron Rodgers last night did not have a great game. Like Bryce Young aside, we're gonna talk about him. Got the belt. Offenses take some time to gel. New personnel, new offensive linemen. Your defense just have to go out and play and ball out. Offenses take time to get right. Am I thinking that Falcons are going to suck for the rest of the season? Am I hoping so? Absolutely. Do I think they will? No, I think they'll be fine later on in the season. But as an early part of the season, you have a new quarterback who's still coming off an Achilles.
Yeah.
He's like 36 coming off an Achilles. Like, I know that modern medicine is it's not a sensu bean. Like, you're not just gonna be all rip 100% good. So it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some weeks for Kirk Cousins to get back to his actual self. And hopefully, God forbid, he doesn't hurt himself trying to play. We talked about Jordan Love. Hey, stay out, get healthy. Hopefully, Kirk Cousins doesn't get hurt trying to be a hero to Atlanta. Hopefully, that's not the case. But Steelers, shout out to the Steelers. Shout out to Mike Tomlin, man, leading the AFC North.
Yo, I was about to. They're the only team that won. They're legit the only team that won in the AFC North, who is supposed to be the best division in football. They're the only team that won, which is nuts. I think you said everything. I think for the oh my gosh, like if Russell Wilson was playing, do they win the game?
No.
I think you ride with Justin Fields. I haven't seen nothing about who's starting, nothing like that. Whatever, we'll see. I think who they play this week. They play.
Steelers play the
Broncos.
Yeah,
at Denver. I know you would like to receive Russell Wilson and go against Denver because he played there. Obviously, it's a revenge game for the kid. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think what if Justin Fields plays bad and y'all lose to Atlanta, then you could all right, Russ, get back in there. But he played well. Like the stat sheet doesn't show it, but he made timely third down conversions countless times. Him and George Pickens was like, all right, that's like he's like, fuck it, Pickens is down there somewhere, and it worked. It works. Najee running the ball very aggressively, very, very demure, very like aggressive, like being Najee Harris. I think that works a lot. Like I think they can make it work, and if you got T.J. Watt looking like the runaway defensive player of the year in week 1, that's every single game for him. Him getting the sack to end the game, doing a bow, like bro, like stuff like that is cinema moments. It's cinema like that. So if they could keep it rolling, man, they can sneak out some wins because wins are hard to come by. If they can sneak some out, like we just talked about with the Bears, like if you win some games with your defense, by all means. So we'll see how it goes, man. Miami, come back. I'm not gonna touch about the Tyreek Hill thing. I think that we're gonna let that happen on its own. You know, it's unfortunate that it happened. Um, it's stuff like this happens all the time in this country if you're a person of color. Um, so hope Tyreek can recover from this. I hope Calais can recover for this. I hope Miami Dolphins can use this as like a uniting force to help them be great. You know, no one got injured, no one got hurt. You know, worst case didn't happen. So shout out to the Dolphins for using that, and maybe that's why they were a little slow to begin. Because mentally, hey, they did not look locked in at all. But when it was 17-3, it was about to be at least 20-3 or 24-3, and Javon Holland punched the ball out of Travis Etienne's hands, fumbles in the goal line.
Changed the whole game.
It changed the whole momentum. And if I've been paying attention, because I was playing 2K, I'll be honest with you, I was playing 2K while watching Red Zone. Bro, if I peaked that when I peaked it, I would have done a live bet right then and there that Miami was going to win that game. Because I was saying, well, they got momentum now. And then they ended up winning the game. Because after that, Jazz got shut out the entire second half.
Yeah.
So Nick Wright said it best. Like, Jags fine. They're the new. Who was the team back then, a couple years ago, who found ways to lose games? Was that Jacksonville or was that someone else?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I think it was Atlanta, and I also think it was because Minnesota always found ways to win, and Atlanta always found ways to fucking choke.
Bro, okay, so they're in Atlanta, bro. Finding new ways to lose games. Week 1, you got them on the ropes. They wobbing back. You just gotta punch that and knock them out. Hey, and then Tua didn't play well. I don't think so. I think he said a fucking Tyreek hit down there somewhere and then got an 80-yard touchdown pass. So his stats is a little inflated a little bit. Look, I think he literally leads the league in passing.
Yeah.
But like he had one touchdown pass.
He had 38 yards passing, but
like that's not going to. That's not
going
to
getting stacked. He kept just holding on the ball too long. It's not.
I think best quarterback performance. We'll talk about it later. Baker Mayfield, man.
Yeah.
Bake Show. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. That's my guy now. That's my guy.
I got nothing else to add to this game. Let's try to get through these games that really don't matter. But yeah, this game was cool. Tyreek got a touchdown after his situation. I bet his over. I bet everything about his over, his yards, his touchdown. Like I bet all of it and cashed. So it was awesome. Jacksonville finds new ways to lose. Again, I'm not convinced the vibes are good in Duval. I love Doug Peterson as a Super Bowl head coach, but I'm just saying, if they have a choice between Trevor Lawrence and the coach, they're probably going to get Trevor. So
coach is going.
Just going to throw it out there. Now, another game that I should have just bit the bullet and guessed it and said, yo, Patriots are going to win. I said they'll cover and keep it ugly and gross. Patriots, fuck. It's not a big belt to ask, but Gerard Mayo had to lock in. Belts to ass. And Cincinnati, fucking trash. Week ones and week 2s. I say this every year.
You did say that.
I say they start slow every fucking year. And what happens? Literally, Joe Burrow is 1-8 in week 1s and week 2s in his last 5 years. He's 1-8, bro. He doesn't win early. He doesn't win. He'll have an amazing October and November, and all of a sudden they're 8-3, 8-4. It's like, oh my God, they have a chance to be the 1 seed or win the division. But they start off so slow. The vibes is not vibing. T. Higgins out, hamstring. Jamar Chase only had didn't play that much. He had 6 catches, which is cool, but didn't really play much. The Dolphins, the Patriots. Once they got the lead, I knew it was GG's because they were going to do exactly what I do on NCAA football. I get a lead, I milk the fucking clock, I run the ball.
It's GG's.
It's GG's. Jacoby Brissett showed some wheels. That was the slowest, fastest black man I've ever seen, man. He made it happen, man. The Bengals, they're going to, spoiler alert, they losing next week.
Facts.
The vibes are not good in Cincinnati right now. because you decide you had to pay Joe Burrow. Obviously, you choose not to pay Chase yet when he definitely deserves his bag. This is a bad vibes. It's bad vibes. Shout out to Gerard Mayo, hell of a win. You probably won't win another game this season, but obviously we're gonna do an FID parlay and make it. Hey, you don't gotta win, you just gotta cover.
Gotta go with spread. Gotta go with spread.
They got Seattle. They got Seattle at home, so we'll see. We'll see.
What time is that?
1:00.
Oh, West Coast going East Coast. Oh,
We'll see. We'll see. But I say bum ass Cincinnati. You should be the one saying bum ass Cincinnati. But good win by the Patriots. I should have bit the bullet and called it, but I said they'll cover.
so
They upset the Bengals 16-10.
So boom. Now I gotta talk my shit. Yo, bro. They still saying you better than Lamar's on? They still saying you better than Allen's on? Granted, Lamar lost. Hey, that's fine. We didn't lose to the Patriots though. We lost to the Chiefs. Number one on the road. They banning it. You feel me? By a half an inch. You lose. You don't score. You don't score a passing touchdown. You only have 100-something yards. This is a big bad. Burrowhead. This you? This you? Like, come on now. Like, you said it, man. They start slow. I'm rolling with you too. We spoiler alert. Y'all losing to Kansas City. Y'all ain't beating Kansas City. Your offensive line's doodle still. Chris Jones about to eat. So it's GG's. You know what I'm saying? And it's proven that, and I think it's the Nerds podcast on a volume. One of them said it that he's not a riser. He's not an elevator like Allen and Lamar is. He was blessed by the football gods to have two number one wide receivers and a solid number two for all those years with Tyler Boyd. And as much as I don't like Joe Mixon, he's proven to be a very solid running back. So he's been fortunate to have number one receiver here, number two receiver in the slot, and a top 10 running back. And what you do with it? Like, at some point, we have to have this conversation. You put Allen in that situation because he has the mobility to truck motherfuckers. We're going to talk about that later. Trucking dudes and jumping over people. And you take the same Josh Allen, but give him T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. Man. Lamar, bro, I've said it for years. We get good tight ends and solid running backs. We turn them great. But other than that, when was the last top flight receiver to come to Baltimore? Steve Smith Sr. So you give Lamar, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. See what happens. So, like, bro, he's blessed, but he's not making the best of the situation. And now Nick Wright saying, hey, like, now you wonder why you always start off the 8 ball. Like, if you don't get ahead, you never be in front. You have prime opportunity. Harvey Specter said that.
I know. That's why I was like,
Like, you got to get ahead, bro. Ravens lost. Browns lost. Steelers barely won. Should have lost. You got the easiest game on your schedule, arguably.
At home.
At the cribbo. And you lose that. So that's right there. Bad vibes in Cincinnati. I'm low-key trying to renege on my playoff prediction, but we already set in stone. Whatever happens, happens. But, man.
Here's their saving grace before we move on. This is the last thing we'll move on.
Yeah.
They do play the Chiefs this week, but then afterwards, they got the Commanders.
You could win that.
And the Panthers before they play the Ravens in week 6. So, week 5. So, at best, they'll be 2-2. At best, if they win next week, they'll be 3-1 going into facing Baltimore. At worst, you lose to the Commanders or the Panthers, bro. Barring injury, of course. Like, hey, no injuries. Nobody gets hurt. Like Joe Burrow doesn't get hurt or whatever. If you lose to the Panthers or Commanders,
Wow.
and you going into Baltimore 1-3, clipped. It's GG's.
Nail in the coffin.
Huh? Put him in
Nail
the coffin. Put him in the coffin.
Oh,
Put him in the coffin.
belts to ass. Texans beat Colts in a nail biter. I thought this was definitely easily the best game in the 1 o'clock window. Back and forth. I think Anthony Richardson. Every time he did those bombs, that was in my head like Anthony Richardson, and he hit 2 of them.
He said, "Fucking someone down
He
there."
hit 3 actually. He hit the long ball to Alec. I think Alec Pierce
My
for the
boy-
touch. First touchdown. Oh, he stumbled a little bit. He's like, fuck it. That's one. And he caught like a contested catch, and then he got another touchdown. So he had 3 good ones. The ones that Adonai Mitchell, he wants those backs for sure. He wants those back for sure. He ran one in for the touchdown. But I think the story in this game is on both ends. The defense is kind of shaky. Especially for the Texans, who was like, everyone was like, oh, the Texans improved so much, but they got carved up by Anthony Richardson.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, carved up is crazy. Okay, carved up is crazy.
9 for 19 for 200 yards. The definition of fuck it, someone down there somewhere. Like
Okay,
9 completions, bro.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, but the Texans definitely, I want to highlight their offense because everyone got love. Everyone got love. Like CJ Stroud didn't have like the best statistical game, but Diggs 2 touchdowns. Nico Collins, I think he had 100. I'm not too sure. He had 100 yards.
117.
100 yards, clutch catches, time after time. Tank Dell being the gadget guy, fast motherfucker that he is, like him getting open and making plays. Joe Mixon running for 30 times for $150.
Yeah,
5 yards a carry is very hard to do, and not that many people will have that skill to get $5 a carry. So you run it twice every time is a first down. That's the math on it. So I think Nick Chubb has the most average yards per carry ever. Well, actually, no, and maybe. But J.K. Dobbins now this season, he averages like freaking like 12. I think he has 10 carries for like $130. So he averages 13 yards a carry. So that's pretty amazing. But for Joe Mixon, bro, 30 times, that's high volume, great execution every single time. And offensive line vastly improved. That's blocking. Man, Houston's gonna be scary, man. Houston's gonna be scary. So shout out to both teams. I think both teams will be good. Both teams can definitely bounce back and improve a little bit. Anthony Richardson definitely gotta stop taking hits, man. Come on.
I will. So the point of non-quarterbacks, Jamal Charles is 5.4 yards a carry. Nick Chubb is 5.3. So like the fact that you like, and Jonathan Taylor, shout to him, is 4.9. So like yards per carry, rush attempt, like that's pretty impressive. Then you have quarterbacks like shout out to Michael Vick, shout out to Lamar type shit. But regardless though, yeah, Joe Mixon, he did the thing. Concern, just a little bit of a concern, just gonna throw that out there. The Texans did give up 4 sacks.
Yeah.
So you have a pass rush in the Colts that's not really well known. You're facing a Bears pass rush and a Bears defense that does get after the passer and does create some pressures and havoc. So just gonna throw it out there. I'm not gonna get my pick till tomorrow, but that's something to be on the wary side about. But if they can run the ball like they did against the Colts, yeah, they're gonna have a good time. Quick game. This is about the Vikings belts to asses. They showed up and showed out. Man, Sam Darnold, the same Sam Darnold that got ran out of the Jets and ran out of the Panthers, took a year off, interned with someone said the word interned and I loved it. Interned with Kyle Shanahan in the Niners. came out a brand new man. Now, Daniel Jones. He has more pick sixes, bro,
Then
than
touchdown.
touchdowns in the last 2 years, bro. Granted, he did get hurt like week 6 or so last year, but in 7 games, you have 3 pick sixes and 2 passing touchdowns. That's bad for business. And as much as I love the Giants defense, when they're on the field constantly because your offense can't do shit, that's a bad omen. It's a bad side. They can't run the ball, can't throw the ball, can't protect Daniel Jones. Vikings just took care of business and they put belts to asses. There's no real analysis of the game. I can't really say the Vikings are a great team because they played such a bad team. But man, Sam Darnold really impressed. We talk about QB performances. He definitely had a top 4, top 5 QB performance of the weekend because he showed up and he didn't turn the ball over. He just did what he had to do. And that's exactly what everyone wants him to do. Just play the offense. Don't be a hero. Game manage. Kevin O'Connell loves this guy. So they go to – and this is like the last thing I know before I let you go. Giants haven't won a home opener. More accurately, a week 1 home opener since 2010. They can't – they just are – they're a bad team. They're a bad team. But – They're our team. They're our friends' team. They're our brothers' team. So we're gonna stick beside them. Shout out to Matt. But man,
Hey man, I think all I'm gonna say is just, if Sam Darnold could deal like this consistently, the Vikings are not out. Granted, they play the Giants, but for the most part, hey, I've been bullish on the Giants' defensive line, and for the most, like Christian Darrisaw is a dog. Like him anchoring that offensive line definitely bolsters up. Aaron Jones cooked. Justin Jefferson is Justin Jefferson. Keep the game plan simple. Kevin O'Connell being the good to great offensive mind that he is. Hey, I have no complaints. I have no complaints about the Vikings. That's actually one of my favorite teams. If you know from last season, let's go Vikings. But do that again. Bow. All right, and then now I'm gonna talk real quick because I know that you was excited. I knew the Saints were going to win. Put them on Survivor. I'm happy they won. Derek Carr showed out. One of the better performances as well. That's a top 5 performance. It was over in the first quarter. It was 20-0 in the first quarter. Like it was GG's. So that's no real analysis. Bryce Young, no Alabama quarterbacks, man. That might be the new fade. If you an Alabama quarterback, good luck. Because at first it was Ohio State quarterbacks. Don't pan out. But now C.J. Stroud is looking like the odd man out because he's popping out and showing heads. It also used to be USC quarterbacks. Trash. We're going to see about Caleb Williams. Alabama, the only reputable person is Tua and half of Jalen Hurts. He went to Oklahoma. Yeah. Soon tied. So Alabama quarterbacks, I don't know, man. He's short. He looks short.
It's just all, bro. As much as I want to go crazy and like go on a victory lap and like talk my shit and pound my chest, man.
Do it.
It's the Panthers. They suck so bad. It was the easiest bet, the easiest Survivor week of my life. If I have to put all of my money that I own on the Saints were going to win that game, I would have doubled it and all that good stuff. The people picking the Panthers to win when you know that defenses are better than offenses, especially early in the season, they lost all their key defensive guys. And I knew the game was over off for the first drive when you have a deep shot to Rashid Shaheed for 50-something yards, 53 yards. Like Derek Carr, for as much shit as Saints fans give him, myself included, he stood in the pocket, knew he was going to take a hit, and said, fuck it. My fastest receiver is down there somewhere. And boom. Run blocking. We didn't give up a sack, bro. No sacks allowed. Couple pressures, but no sacks allowed. Offensive line, yes, again, it's the Panthers, so we got to take it with, like, the grain of salt of, like, okay, we win. We executed perfectionly. We did what we had to do. We scored on, like, 9 straight possessions for, like, the first time in the Dennis Allen, Derek Carr era. We made it happen. We locked in, which is great. Just do it again. Like a lot of people want to be bullish, and a lot of people want to like buy into the Saints, but they're like, it was the Panthers. If we go out and do the same thing against the Dallas Cowgirls, then a lot of people gonna be like, yo, this team is legit. But I can talk forever. Love Alvin Kamara getting into the end zone. I love Jamal Williams getting into the end zone. Shout out to freaking Juwan Johnson, by the way. We also had a block punt. Our defense had 2 picks, had like 3 sacks. Like we just shut them down. And Matt, if you know who Matt is, right? You should know if you're a fan of the show. He's like, yo, we just gotta put belts to asses, man. We put belts to freaking asses. We locked in. Ain't no switching up. I can't pick the Saints anymore in my Survivor, but it's worth it. Survive in advance, baby. Survive in advance. Whew, 1-0. That's all I can say. 1-0. And shout out to JR. If you're watching JR and FID chat, but our team's the only ones that won this week, man. So we want to know, man, type shit. Bills, Cardinals, the second best game of the weekend, at least of the week 1 Sunday slate. The 1 p.m. slot. Cardinals, frisky, man. They don't have a defense. They're going to get shootouts every week. I'm betting that over every single week. Like every single week. They play, who they got this week?
The Rams.
Yeah, betting the over. They can run the ball really well. Shout out to James Conner. Shout out to Kyler Murray.
Oh, they stopped.
Can they stop the run?
No, until they stopped running the ball.
Until they stopped. Weird. And then for some reason, they just like stopped it. Shout out to Cardinals, the first team to get a kickoff return touchdown, which is impressive. Again, this was a great game. Josh Allen went Superman, running over niggas, jumping over people, doing Cam Newton type shit. Arnella Mintz. Yo, you're welcome, by the way.
That's your Saints. Saints till I die, man.
Well, you can't pick them anymore, but but you're welcome, man. Nonetheless, Ravens is the pick this week, by the way.
If I ever see the Saints, I'm gonna root for them. Yeah,
Ravens is
got
the
me
pick
through another week.
Ravens
Ravens
is the
pick.
this week. Yeah, Ravens.
Who the Ravens play?
The Raiders.
That's a good pick.
And they gotta bounce back from week 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to do the shits, huh?
Oh yeah. We gonna put belts to asses, man. We gonna put belts to asses, man.
Okay. I like it. I'm ready.
But yes, Josh Allen made it happen. He locked in. Offensively, first half was shaky, but the second half didn't really need to throw the ball much. He just like, yo, I'm the best player on the field, and I'm gonna showcase it. And Bills win. Sneaky game. And if Kyler Murray sees Marvin Harrison wide open,
Wow.
GG's is over.
Wow.
Well, probably not, because the Bills probably have a chance to go down the field and kick a field goal. But man, they had a chance. He just got to see him. He's short. He can't see offensive linemen, but you got to see him. Marvin Harrison didn't have a good game, but
I'm still bullish on him. I ain't giving up on him yet. I think that this man, it was just annoying. I think, and I know Kyler Murray's small, but seeing him, bro, the memes of him looking like a toddler, freaking, bro, it's really real though. It's really for real how short and small he looks. Like he has the arm strength. Don't get me wrong, but I think he has to see that though. He has to see that. Like he got to see, like literally, Marvin Harrison's like he could like walk into the end zone off a catch, bro. So I'm bullish on their connection. It's gonna they're gonna look at the film like he's like, oh, I wish I could have had that back. Now I agree, frisky. I think it's more about Josh Allen can't be doing that. He can't be risking his body when you got James Cook, who's a quality back right there. Low-key ruined one of my parlays, by the way. I'm like, dude, like you hurdling over guys, which is great, but it's week 1. Same thing with Lamar. I'm like, no, you running like 16 times or whatever like that. You running too much. It's week 1. Like your body's not gonna survive 17 or 18, 19 going to a playoff run. It's not gonna do that. And plus for Allen on a short week against Miami, at Miami, like you gotta be better. And you can't go down 17-3 and then have to put the Superman cape back on. You gotta be start to finish. And shout out to DJ Dallas again, first thing of the season. But hey, man, that's annoying. But fuck it, what you gonna do? Jim Harbaugh wins first game as a Chargers head coach. I think this was this is the recipe for success for the Chargers because it was the same recipe for success at Michigan. Timely throws, run the ball, defense. You have one of the best arm talents in Justin Herbert who can make every throw. To what receivers besides Lad McConkey cooked. He's a dog. I like him a lot. Hey, JK and Gus cooked, carved up the Raiders defense. Baltimore, you better do the same shit. Defensively, clamped up when it needed. Khalil Mack, return of the Mack, batted up, and then the big fella called an interception. Pretty much sealed the game. I think if this is how the Chargers are going to compete, I ain't mad at it. For year one, I'm mad at it. Joe Alt, Notre Dame, had Max Crosby on a freaking stretcher, man. He not doing nothing. He did nothing when matched up against Joe Alt. So shout out to him. No offensive lineman will ever win Rookie of the Year, unfortunately. But he had the best performance as a rookie week one. Besides Xavier Worthy. Like Xavier Worthy, 2 touchdowns, like 1 in the air, 1 on the ground. He cooked, but underrated value, Joe O. I'm glad now looking back, they didn't go with Neighbors. It would have been a flashy pick. It would have been like a Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow situation where they could have picked Panay, but they chose Chase, and it's working out a little bit. But the main problem with Herbert was he's got hit a lot. So having Rashawn Slater on the left side, Joe Holt on the right side, hey, man, not a lot of teams have interior pressure. So shout out to the Chargers, 1-0. Keeping pace, man. Keep pace, and that can make something happen.
So peek behind the curtain. I'm driving home. I'm listening to Red Zone as I'm driving home. 2-hour drive. I get home by the 4. But this game's over by the time I get home. This game flew by. Like the Chargers ran the ball down the throats. Justin Herbert didn't have the best statistical game, but he doesn't care. He's had all the stats. He wants to win games. He wants to be in the playoffs when it matters most. So shout out to Jim Harbaugh playing a conservative game, but not even conservative. And Antonio Pierce, because I was shocked by this.
So they punted, right?
They were 4th and 1. They're down 6. And they punt in the Chargers sideline, like side of the field. They punt. Then the Chargers go down the field, kick a field goal, go score a touchdown rather for 2. We didn't get it, but it's like, bro, it was 16-10. You have the ball in the 4th quarter. Go for it. Antonio Pierce, you're supposed to be the guy that's like freak stats. We're gonna be a run first team and be an aggressive team. Even it wasn't aggressive. So they lost the game because of coaching. Like the defense, as much as we talk about Joe Alton being awesome, had that game in the hands. You could have stole the game, but instead you play conservative. Chargers go down the field. J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. What a backfield! It's almost like a team that had them in the past. Knows how to recruit running backs. It's insane. It's definitely insane.
Something about that last name, man. Last name Harbaugh, man. It's crazy, man.
Weird. Harbaugh and running backs. Who would have thought? Seahawks spoil Bo Nix's debut, 26-20. Again, peek behind the curtain. I'm driving home, not really watching the game. I'm hearing it though. Yo, how do you get 2 safeties, bro?
This game, I was watching it actually. I was eating dinner with baby girl and watching the game. I'm like, yo, this game is not like it should never have been close. I think both Knicks had flashes of greatness, but Seattle was giving them chances to come back. They got to clean up a lot. Kenneth Walker played extremely well. I was happy to see that. Geno got to play better. Like the Broncos, besides Pat Surtain, doesn't have a good defense. So I thought you're gonna have DK probably locked up by Pat, which is what happened. Tyler Lockett and JSN carve them up. Defensively, Seattle look fast. They look active. I think that's the Mike McDonald philosophy. Attacking the ball, and then his crafty blitz packages, bro. It was both Knicks was under the rest the whole game. That's not going your first game on the road against Seattle with the 12th man already loud, and then having a defensive genius and Mike McDonald, bro. It's tough. So for him to actually have a chance to win, the score looks better than what it was, but he did have a rushing touchdown, which was good to see. He was putting it all out there. So he was throwing it now. He was definitely throwing the ball. So he can build on it. And, they play Pittsburgh and, go from Seattle's defense to TJ Watt and the Steelers defense. Tough. We'll see what they do. That's tomorrow. All right, I can move on.
Yeah, I got
That got paid 240 M's, 60 M's a year. That's a lot of bread. Not to count your pockets, but hey, lucky man. I played it right. But belts to ass. Deshaun's cooked. Deshaun is cooked. Super cooked. And Dallas' defense isn't even all that because Deron Bland's out. So they didn't have Trayvon Diggs and Michael Parsons. And then that's it.
Dexter Lawrence. Yeah, they have guys. They have solid guys. They're solid guys.
And then Trayvon Diggs in the secondary, pretty much it. Like all elite guys, but then you have like good to above average guys everywhere else. Offensively, they didn't even do much, but I think it was a complete offense, defense, special teams like collection. It was a great game by Mike McCarthy.
Yeah,
the punt return touchdown, great. That did not turn the ball over. He didn't make a mistake. He had a nice little dot to Brandon Cooks. Hey, man, off the back foot, just launching it up, that's a dot. He getting a rushing touchdown and embracing that, that's cool. So, for me, I think it's just shit like that, man. You can't be wrong with it, man.
Yeah, the Browns, man, the defense tried their best. It's one of those things where, like, defense can try all their best, but if your offense doesn't do anything, barring late offense, like garbage time touchdowns by Jerome Ford and Deshaun Watson rushing touchdowns, it was a 33-3, bro. It was bad. Like, and again, you were the favorites at home because people thought, building off the success of last year, Joe Flacco was back, all that good stuff. All of a sudden, it's like, bro, they were bad, like bad. And that's a shame. It's a shame because you would think Myles Garrett just won DPOY. They just paid JOK. They still have Grandale Pitt. They still have a lot of guys. But it's like, bro, at what point is it like Deshaun Watson? People were calling for Jameis, bro. I love Jameis. I love Jameis as much as the next guy, but I wouldn't want to call him I wouldn't want Jameis in my starting lineup. Nah. Anyway. But man, Watson got to lock in. And then now you have another sexual misconduct situation going on, bro. It's bad, bro. And then another team that performed, the score looks better than it was because of barring a late touchdown. The Big Show, shout out to him, belts to asses. I picked against him. I did it because I was purely biased. But Jaden Daniels, I like Bo Nix, had some flashes, had some plays. I was like, okay, you could survive in this league, but then he also took some hits. Where he did like not as big as Josh Allen. He's not as like big as Lamar Jackson because Lamar Jackson put on some muscle over the offseason.
You saw that Chucky did, though?
I did, exactly.
But Lamar had a little cram in the
he's not as strong as Lamar or Josh Allen, so he can't be trying to be Superman and play taking those hits. But regardless, though, Big Show, 4 touchdowns, probably the best quarterbacking performance of week 1. From start to finish, he showed up. He looked poised. He looked elite. Dare I say elite? I say it? I might have to say it. He looked great. Mike Evans, objectively looked good. Everyone
got 12. Chris Calvin scored. Mike Evans scored. Like
even the rookie Jalen McMillan from Washington, he scored. It was
everybody got the love, which that's kind of what you want. You don't want one guy. Like if Mike Evans has scored 4 touchdowns, you're like, oh shit, Mike Evans scored 4 touchdowns. But like the fact that he scored 2, Godwin scored, like rookie scored, bro. And then they ran the ball decently. That's the one question mark you have. I think Todd Bowles cooking up a defense against a rookie quarterback in his first game. Mm,
Yeah, and it's like in hindsight, it's like
but
Yeah.
now they play the Lions, so now let's see if that can be replicated a little bit. We'll see. I think the Lions are favored by 7 points, which is crazy. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Speaking of Lions, it's a little segue. Lions win overtime thriller 26-20. Now I keep it a buck with y'all. I watched the game till the fourth quarter, and when I saw it was overtime, it was already damn near 12 o'clock. I was like, I'm going to sleep. Whatever happens, I keep it stacked with y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Ain't no shame in my game, y'all.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you either, bro. After we got off of 2K, it was like the start of the fourth. I got to be up at 6 a.m. I was like, I can't.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not doing this today. I'm not doing this. No, I can't. So, but from what I watch, both teams have a lot to be desired. Week 1, I think both teams played, well. Puka Nacua went out early. Matt Stafford was dealing. Everyone got touched, but mainly he kind of reverted back to Cooper Cup, and that's why he won the Triple Crown in I think 2021. Right? That's when the Rams won the Super Bowl.
2021.
Then the Chiefs won back to back.
Yeah.
So 2021. So like, hey man, I think he reverted back to those old tendencies. Jared Goff played well, played game manager. I think that Amon-Ra didn't have a good game, but he's not one of those like I want all the stats, because Jameson Williams had a career game, a breakout performance. So like they won the game. His man's got the shine. I think he only cares about the win.
Yeah.
I mean that's something you want from your leaders. Like they don't care about the stats. They're not gonna make a hush in the sidelines like, oh, give me the ball. AJ Brown, I'm looking at you. They gotta lock in. Both teams. And now the Rams, they losing offensive lineman. Puka Nacua's on IR. The lineman's on IR. It's gonna be a tall task to keep up if you're already losing guys like that week 1. So good luck to the Rams. They play Arizona, and then the Lions play the Bucks. So we'll see.
You know how I know this game was pure Lions and pure entertainment, bro? In overtime, out of 70 yards that they used to score that touchdown, 60 of them were on the ground.
Bro, Panay, bro. Hane, bro. That man is a monster.
They want to run the ball, and that's why I love the Lions so much. They built time years and years into that offensive line for games like this. They learned their mistake against San Francisco. They said, yo, we're going to punch a motherfucker in the mouth, and we're going to run the ball, and if it doesn't work, guess what? We're going to run the ball again. Mm-hmm. And they made it happen. Like that's why I love Dan Campbell, and that's why I think he's going to win Coach of the Year. He's learning. He's getting better and better as a coach, but as a leader of men. So, we're in overtime, week 1, Sunday Night Football. What better way to showcase our identity than by running the ball down a motherfucker's face? Shout out to Marshawn Lynch. And then the last game, Monday Night Football, that I didn't really watch because I was playing 2K. Niners playing the Jets without CMC, 32-19. The 19 came off of like a Tyrod Taylor touchdown pass to Allen Lazard. They deserve, the Niners, belts to asses. There's the last one. They showed up from start to finish. Aaron Rodgers, first game back in like a year and a half, essentially, basically 2 years, as he had 2 snaps last year and then went out. So he had first game in 2 years, looked rusty. Offense was only to the left side of the field. Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, and Breece Hall were the only ones involved. It was bad. It was bad on the Jets sideline. And the Niners, man, it also started bad. The Jets defense kept them in the game for a little bit in the first quarter. And then Debo started getting going. And the backup running back who started, Jordan Mason, he started going crazy. It's like the Kyle Shanahan offense is similar to Mike McDaniel, where like they can just put anybody in running back and then they'll be fine. CMC not playing, and I don't know if you heard it or peeped it.
I peeped.
So for ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't hear this, right, it's a post-game interview. Lisa Salters is interviewing Jordan Mason. It's like, yo, how do you take the news? When did you find out? Homeboy said he found out on Friday that he was starting. So Friday, he found out he was starting for a game on Monday.
That's shaky.
That's shaky. Because if you know you're not playing and the NFL is in bed with gambling books and fantasy and stuff like that, that's something you have to disclose. I get it. You don't have to disclose it till 4 hours before kickoff, or I think like 3 hours or 2 hours before kickoff. That's fine. But when you're in a Monday night game, the marquee game of the weekend, people are advertising it, and you know you're not playing. That's a shaky situation. They're probably gonna get fined for that, but maybe not because they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't. They disclosed it 2 hours for the game, but still a shaky situation. Brock Purdy, he did his thing. The Niners defense will be legit, and I know we're gonna talk about top 5 teams and then wrap up. But Niners definitely in my top 5, and rightfully so. But I got really no thoughts on the game. I wasn't really watching it. I was paying attention to it, but every time I looked at it, the Jets were punting or trying to throw a play or had an interception or turned the ball over. It was just they had no sustainable offense, and that's the problem. But again, week 1, we'll see how they do against the Titans.
We'll see. I think that it's just looking soft, man. They look soft. Offensive line looks soft. Granted, it's 49ers defense, so we're gonna give that a good grain of salt. But defensively, bro, they let them push them around. And it's very common knowledge that besides Trent Williams, their offensive line for the 49ers is not that good. Keeping it a stack. Keeping it a whole stack. So like the fact that they were able to run for $1 something, shaky Warriors, bro. Sauce Gardner, he got the wind knocked out of him, but he clamped up Ayuk though. Ayuk, he's on my fantasy team. He had like 2 catches the whole game, so which allowed Debo to cook, and Juszczyk was doing my freaking real routes like it's fucking NCAA. I'm like, oh damn, like this dude's cooking. Hey man, 49ers look scary. I think they're favored in damn near every game because they're just a team of great players. Brees Hall fumbled because of Fred Warner. I was like, damn, like that was momentum right there because they scored, and then they're like, okay, they're going back, and then Brees Hall fumbles. I'm like, fuck, what's going on? So shaky. I think 49ers look great. Obviously, we want to see you catch that touchdown pass. But it's all right. It's okay. But my top 5 teams after week 1. Number 1 is the Chiefs. Number 2 is San Fran. Number 3 is Detroit. Number 4, Baltimore. We drop down. And number 5 is Detroit. I said Detroit. 5 is Philly. Chiefs, 49ers, Detroit, Baltimore, Philly.
Interesting.
Chiefs, they played. It's like playing a ranked opponent. They played a ranked opponent, and they held no business. 49ers belt to asses on a ranked opponent. Everyone was hyping up the Jets. Oh my God, they're great. They humbled them real quick. Detroit run a nail-biting, identity-having game, and they took care of business. Baltimore, although we lost, we showed flashes of greatness, and I wouldn't be mad if you had Houston in there, Dallas in there, and took us out. But I'm biased. I'm a Ravens fan, so fuck out of here. And then Philly offensively looked great, but defensively had lapses. So that's why that's my top 5 teams.
That's a good 5 list. And for me, we have almost the same list. I got Kansas City. I got the Niners 1 and 2. Either order, but probably Kansas City number 1, San Fran number 2. I'm gonna go Dallas number 3. I think Dallas showed up and showed out, especially offensively. That getting paid and scored points and everyone made it happen. It's kind of like you talked about the good teams that spread the ball out and not one star had that's kind of a good game that Dak Prescott played. So those are the 3. Philly as well. Quiet game from A.J. Brown in terms of yardage. Quiet game, but he had 100 yards receiving. Saquon's there. And then Detroit. I got Detroit somewhere in the top 5 in that order. The Ravens did lose, and it was lost by 1 possession to the defending champs. There's a lot of concern for that offensive line. Hopefully, it will get better. And you have Zay Flowers and some dynamic playmakers here and there. But we got to get Derrick Henry and Lamar locked in. We got to get them locked in. They'll be fine. You guys will be fine. But just after week 1, my top 5, Kansas City, the Niners, Dallas, Detroit, and Philly. Those are my top 5. Whether or not it stays that way remains to be seen. And ladies and gentlemen, week 1 is in the books. Week one is in the books. We're finally back. We're back and better. Pardon the noise for me. I have nothing really in my room, so that's why it sounds like I'm insulated. And
I had to change locations, so pardon the noise from there too. So
work like we always do, man. But join us tomorrow night, 8:30 EST. Be there. We preview every game for week 2. So we got some teams. They got the wins. They got some losses. We'll see how they adapt and hopefully show up and show out again in week 2. I'm Natty Baps. That's Shabazz TV. Join us tomorrow, 8:30 EST, live on YouTube. Live your life in the 4 F's and the V. Faith, family, football. I said faith first, and I'm not even crazy.
Faith, family, food, football, and
Vindication.